The time is now, and we are almost done with the PC. First there's gonna be a little track building, and then we can assemble and see how it runs. Hope you're gonna follow this. Stay tuned, comment, like, subscribe, and let's go. When you make stuff in wood like this, you gotta be making little jigs like this. It makes the job so much easier. Looks like my little jig is working here. I'm trying to cut little pieces of wood without getting them in my face. I needed a lot of these little pieces of wood to be able to go all around both of the tracks. I sanded them lightly too. I just didn't film it. And now I'm going to be fuming them. I'll let them stay in the box the night over to get colored all the way. I like this process a lot over staining wood. It just seems to have a more natural color. And if you get a scratch, you can just take a piece of sandpaper and you'll have the same color as before. Here I'm giving a light sanding before mixing the epoxy. It's crucial that they sit straight from the beginning here, or else you will have a big problem when you're halfway done. And now it's time for the soda cans. Here I'm putting on a good layer of Danish oil. I'm from Denmark, and in Denmark it's called linolie. I thought that was kind of funny. It's like we have something that's called a Swedish key. In an American language it's called an adjustable wrench. I'm putting some filters in that I bought on Amazon. The PC has been working for a while now, and I can see it collecting dust in there. So if it wasn't because of the aesthetics of the wheels inside the tracks, then I would have preferred having some filters outside. So we have 3 fans on each side. Each side I'm going to solder together so we don't have more than 2 connections coming to the motherboard. one from each side. Putting in the LEDs for power on and for the hard drive. I've never seen the hard drive light. I only have some solid drives. And this is the reset button. I made it out of an old PC button and some brass, and I painted it. And here it's going on the PC. Testing the reset button, and then I can mount the power on button. Now I'm gluing the front panel connections in with some epoxy. I have two USB 3 connections and some audio connections. No USB-C. I would have loved it if I had one of those. I forgot to record me putting in the NVMe in the M.2 slot. I have two NVMe's. My motherboards only support me having one of the slots because it's using the same lane as the PCIE. So I have an adapter in one of the PCIEs so I can run two NVMe's. I bought the Steel Legend motherboard mainly because it was cheap and it had the optical audio out, so I could run it directly to my amplifier. Here I'm installing the CPU. It's a Ryzen 2007X, and looking back at it now, I would probably have bought something more expensive, something like a 9 series. In one side there's a square, it has to line up with a square on the motherboard. Decided to buy some more RAM, so I'm putting two more RAM sticks in here. There's 8 GB on each stick, so it's 32 GB of RAM altogether. Here I'm almost forgetting to install the I/O shield. Almost forgot to. At first I had a motherboard tray in the PC, but in the end I just decided to get some longer standoffs and just leave it out. So you have to take the motherboard out if you want to get under it. So it's time for a little bead of thermal paste to go on the CPU. Then we can install the CPU cooler. It's an Arctic liquid freezer. It's a great CPU cooler, I really think so. The only problem with it is when it comes out of the box, the CPU fan and the water pump is running on the same wiring, so I had to change that out, or else the CPU fan would run at max speed all the time. Or at least that's how I think it sounded. Now we can mount the cooler on the CPU. We're going to be doing it in a star pattern, putting the screws down little by little until fully tightened, and that will ensure that the mounting pressure is even all on the surface on the CPU. Buying the stuff for the PC, I wasn't thinking about the aesthetics of the inside, but it actually turned out pretty nice. Connecting the CPU's water pump to the motherboard. Then the CPU fan to the motherboard. And here we're connecting the fans from the one side. And then the other side. And here's the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth I bought. I colored it white so it looks kinda nice. The motherboards that had these features were kinda like not in my budget at the time. Then audio connections and front panel connections, and we have some USB 3.0 too. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, it's time to show off what I had to sold both my kidneys to get. The absolute king of rendering, the RTX 360, 12 gigabytes memory. Can I get a whoop whoop? Engage. Really happy with the card size here. The EVGA is one of the smallest 3060 cards, I think. So I'm happy I didn't choose a big one, because it could have been an issue here. Regarding the airflow of the PC, we have these 6 fans that's blowing in through the mesh to keep dust out into the PC, so there's a lot of overpressure in there. Then The air is coming out through the CPU cooler and through the power supply that sucks it up, and these little channels in each side of the turret and out the back, and I have made these little vents in the back too that's coming out of, and I think it works perfectly. Even like something like the CPU, it's getting extra cooling because all of this pressure is pressing air through the CPU cooler without even the fan needing to turn. And then it's time for the goofy man to look all happy. There you go. Tank PC's main use is video editing, so I think the best way to show it off is this Cinebench R23. I don't know if it's a good result, I'll let you be the judge of that. So for everybody watching, thank you so much, and I enjoyed building this, my first PC. It was amazing, and I hope you come back to watch more videos on Must Build Something. Comment, like, subscribe. See you next time.